And after more than 2 years of war, Sudan's capital, Khartoum, is slowly coming back to life. Residents displaced by fierce fighting between the army and the paramilitary rapid support forces are returning home, but many find their houses looted or destroyed. Electricity cables, water stations, and major roads are only now being restored after months of heavy bombardment. Officials admit billions will be needed to rebuild. The United Nations expects as many as 2 million people to return to Khartoum by the end of this year. Over the weekend, two of Sudan's top officials visited the capital for the first time since the conflict began in April 2023. They inspected repairs, held talks with local leaders, and signaled the government's intent to move back from its temporary base in Port Sudan by October. But with more than 12 million displaced nationwide, 40,000 dead, and weapons still destroyed, experts warn that the road to recovery will be long and uncertain. And joining me to discuss the situation in Sudan is Director of Severa Africa. It joins me from Nairobi. Charles Yakubo, thank you for talking to us at this time. Talk to us about the situation there. We've seen residents returning after nearly 2 years of this conflict, but they're coming back to their property ruined. What do you make of this?
Thank you for having me. This really signaled the intention of the government to return their services back to the people and back to Khartoum. It shows strength, it shows resilience, and of course gives hope to millions of the Sudanese that left the city, of course, due to the war that really took long, over almost 2 years. Yeah, so it signals some hope. It also gives a lot of trust. It gives kind of trust that at least there will be some peace in the long run.
With the level of destruction we've seen the United States also expecting as many as 2 million people to return by the end of this year. What's the prospect for long-term peace and reconstruction in that region?
Now, the long-term prospect is purely reconciliation, because even if the government returns back to Khartoum, that is not a long-lasting. A Sudanese family would be happy to be assured that he or she is safe and secure, and that they're not going to return back to the war again. So in as much as the government might return in October, which I also believe is too ambitious, but then now a long-lasting peace will be realized when there is very credible negotiation between the warring parties, families reunited back to their people, and of course there is a surety that the kind of destruction that we saw in the last 2 years is not going to repeat. Otherwise, without that, then the situation in Sudan will still be very volatile, and of course there will be no long-lasting peace if that is not really considered.
Well, we're seeing the government's effort in ensuring that peace is back in that region. Does it seem like it has the potential of this spilling to neighboring countries or affecting stability there?
Yes, it's to some extent it is symbolic. People would say so, because for the first time, at least after they moved to a port city, no government official has ever really stepped foot. So there is some effort, and of course there is some hope that perhaps things will come back to normal.
I'm talking about things coming back to normal in Sudan. I'm hoping you can hear me.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Just wrap up your statement.
Yes. So even as things are getting back to normal, we still have sorry, can you hear me? Yeah, we still have the presence of the RSF in part of the city. So that again brings a lot of fear. That again erodes the confidence of the people. So there is need to be more, and I think bodies like African Union, the IGAD, of course, beyond just calling the ceasefire, should look into the actual reasons that made the people go to war. They can build roads, they can build water stations, but it was not the core reason. the core reason as to why the people went into war. So if there will be credible negotiation between the RSF and, of course, the Sudan Armed Forces, then, of course, that will really be of great value than just telling people to come back in October.
And there are humanitarian concerns for, citizens that are returning. Let's look at the losses in this. How soon do you think it will take Sudan to recover from this? And that's the director of Severe Africa, Nairobi, Charles Yakubu from Kenya, talking to us about the situation in Sudan as residents return to see their property destroyed and, lives lost. The United Nations has said it is expecting about 2 million to return. Mr. Yakubu, I understand that you are back. So talk to us about the losses on ground and how soon you think that Sudan will recover. We'll continue. Right. Talk to us about the losses on ground and how soon you think that Sudan will recover from this. Charles, I'm hoping you can hear me.
Yes, the losses are really massive, and it is estimated that rebuilding back the city to where it was before the war would cost at least $700 billion, and that's a lot of money, which really would go into building of infrastructure, building of roads, building of the offices, and all that. So it might take a longer time for Sudan to again restabilize, and that's a big worry because Sudan, Khartoum being the capital city, a lot of services, public utilities, have been stationed there. So it might take them a longer time, but beyond just the infrastructure, I think building trust would even be more expensive and might even take longer because the people may not really fully trust that the government can really assure us that in 1 year or 2 years' time, we are still going to have, we may not have the same war. So it's work in progress. Moving back to Khartoum, of course, is just symbolic, but of course, much needs to be done to ensure that there is more trust, the eroded cultural norms return back to, to where they were before, and of course, there is more assurance that there will be more peace and there will be more reconciliation moving forward for the people of Sudan and Khartoum in general.
Director of Severe Africa, Charles Yakubu, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.